Now, the Twin Cities' fastest news team with Scott Powers, Catherine Ann Clover, Skip Ramirez Jr. on sports, and Larry Lundeen and Cold Front Charlie with the weather. Team 23. It's the best we can do.
Welcome back. I'm Scott Powers.
And I'm Catherine Ann Clover. France is on the move again tonight. Authorities in Spain report the wine-loving country is already looming over the Pyrenees Mountains.
Tonight, a survey commissioned by Team 23 and the Weekly Shopper newspaper shows that apathy has made serious inroads in the Twin Cities.
That's right, Scott. According to a Team 23 Weekly Shopper poll, 75% of the people polled did not care. 8% of the people had no opinion, and 7% of the respondents were undecided. When it was pointed out that these figures do not add up to 100%, Team 23 staffers did not care to find out why. One person polled by our survey didn't even know what apathy meant, but then quickly added that he didn't care to know.
Now, let's check in with our weather team, Larry Lundeen and Cold Front Charlie, out at the weather dock.
There's a lot of activity tonight here at the old weather dock. Let's take a look at the national temperatures. Right now, Denver has a chance of snow at 23 degrees. It's 55 and rainy in Seattle, and sunny and 78 in Los Angeles. Now, what's going on, Charlie?
Just helping you figure out your tax returns, Larry. I found some interesting items here. Just how long have you been claiming a puppet as a dependent? Huh, Larry? You've got more padding here than I do. What's his mileage? 33,000 miles on your car this year. Everybody knows you use a station car. Too bad you're gonna have to pay $35,000 in back taxes this year. If you can keep your butt out of jail.
That's enough out of you for tonight, Cold Front Charlie. Let's take a look at the forecast. The forecast for you, Charlie, is a little time in the doghouse.
I suppose you're going to claim a doghouse as a deduction too, huh? Bow wow!
Back to you, Scott and Catherine.
Speaking of the doghouse, some Twin Cities dogs are facing a crisis of their own.
As our own Tiffany Shields found out, some of these pooches are suffering from low self-esteem.
But I need to warn you, sometimes it is necessary to show disturbing footage in order to tell an important story or during ratings periods. Parents and pet owners may want to use discretion before showing this to some of our smaller teammates. Roll it, Jimmy.
In today's competitive society, there is a lot of pressure to get ahead. The stresses that we feel are also felt by our best friends. There is a growing, serious problem among upper-middle-class dogs trying to prove to their owners that they are the perfect pedigree. It's called dogorexia nervosa. Puppies refusing to eat their dog food to the point where they are actually starving themselves to death. And many dogs, like Duchess here, are suffering from it. Ooh, look at her. She's so depressed. She thinks she looks fat. She thinks we're looking at her thunder thighs or that little roll around her belly. But I think she looks fine. She may need to tone up a bit, but I don't think she needs to diet. Duchess's owner, Mrs. Etta Palfrey St. James, is distraught.
I don't understand it. We've given her the best of everything. The best food, the best schooling, the best kennels whenever we're abroad. She's completely off her food. She's wasting away.
I was watching Oprah last week, and she said that dogs, and maybe it was Haitians, anyway, develop this feeding disorder when there's pressure put on them to be the perfect pooch. Are you putting pressure on Duchess?
Oh, of course not. We think she's wonderful.
Do you think she feels inadequate compared to the Samoyeds and Shih Tzus in the neighborhood?
Oh, no, of course not.
Have you ever pointed out skinny dogs on your walk around Lake Harriet?
No, never.
This is not an isolated problem. Animal psychologist Dr. Daisy Furpaw is treating more and more disturbed dogs.
Is he foaming at the mouth? Humans are pushing their dogs too hard. Once we were content in letting them chase a tennis ball around the yard. Now we expect them to roll over and shake hands almost before they stop messing on newspapers. No wonder they won't eat. Would you?
We decided to return to the St. James house to try to help poor Duchess. What kind of dog food does Duchess get to eat?
Well, let's see. We just have this for her.
What is this? Beef flavor? What does that mean? Mrs. St. James, what kind of a dirty trick are you trying to pull on Duchess and me?
Consuela just gets whatever's cheapest. Oh, I'm so embarrassed.
No wonder you aren't eating. I wouldn't eat either. Let's get you some decent food to eat. I can't believe we've been made to suffer such humiliation. The way some people treat us. They're best friends. Come on. Look at me. My name is Duchess, and I'm a happy dog. I don't have to starve myself to get attention anymore. And I'm sure the people who also live in this house will never feed me inedible dog food again. On your dog's behalf, this is Tiffany Shields reporting.
Well, the Twin Cities news team that would never dance naked in public.
Tonight, it's still New Year's Eve. Just a short time before we bring you the Melon Drop and a new year.
And even though you're stuck at home tonight, you get to experience it live through the miracle of microwave.
We take you now to the Loon Cafe with Veronica Bortz. Ronnie.
Beanie and Cecil, I'm here at the Loon Cafe, and I've just met a really interesting guy. Edward, why don't you step in here for a moment, please? Oh, this is Edward,
Phillips.
Edward Phillips.
Eddie, please.
Eddie, all right. And what are you drinking tonight, Eddie?
I'm drinking Freixenet champagne. It's the drink of the evening, and everyone's drinking it.
And you were telling me earlier that you
available.
are... Ed, you're such a pistol.
Well, Eddie, please.
Oh, Eddie, all right. Are you here with anyone else, Eddie?
Well, it depends on the evening. It depends on what the night brings.
You're so funny.
Veronica!
What? Oh, I guess we're going somewhere else now. I really like that tie.
Gosh, Ronnie, it sure does look fun down there at the Loon. Here at the Metrodome, it's a little quiet. Quiet, Q-U-I-T-E, nada, nowheresville. When the assignment editor told me about this assignment, I was expecting 65,000 screaming fans cheering, but wait, sir, what brings you down to the Metrodome tonight?
Well, actually, my car ran out of gas at 94, and I was just going over to the filling station.
But you'll be here later tonight, won't you?
Say, what station is this? Aren't you guys supposed to be down at River
Great. Craig, let's take it back to you. Craig Coolander, thanks.
Thanks, Cindy, or is it Candy? I don't know. I get those two news nuts mixed up. But who cares, because it's New Year's Eve. We're having a great time. We're ready to bring out the old and bring in the new, or whatever that is. Once again, Craig, here on the 50th floor of the IDS at Theo's nightclub. Several dozen raw eggs, silver teaspoons for the... Watch out for those Vulcans. Rubber truncheons right off the spoon. Did Gyron gimble in the way?
We've got a bit of an audio difficulty there with Craig. We'll catch up with him later. Let's see how Bart Roberts is doing up at Nord Motors in Annika. Bart?
Bart Roberts here at Nord Motors in Anoka, where there's been a bit of a misunderstanding.
Sorry, I get carried away sometimes.
Oh, I'm sure this is an isolated incident, Nord. No hard feelings.
Here's your coffee, Nord. He was late with the donuts this morning.
Is that this, Nord? Thank you.
He was a half hour late for work.
Hello, son.
Hi, Ma.
Nord, you didn't.
Nah, she slipped on some ice.
Bart Roberts here at Nord Motor in Anoka. Now back to the studio. Are you sure you didn't throw her?
Ooh. Oh, looks like things are getting a little rough up there in Anoka.
Yeah. And Annika isn't the only place facing violence, Scott. Right here in our own quiet Twin Cities, a menace has taken to the streets and is terrorizing the community.
Our own brave Bob Bagadonuts went undercover to uncover this excellent report.
Well, it's perfectly obvious that the gang problem is a very serious problem. There are gangs here, there, everywhere, Los Angeles, Chicago. But nothing has prepared me for what I encountered here.
The word is out on the street that there is a new gang in town, and they're more than just dangerous, they're homicidal, bloodthirsty, ferocious. They don't carry switchblades, they have 30-pound broadaxes, razor-sharp spears, and double-edged swords. And they bring to mind an age of terror and barbarism unsurpassed in the annals of human history. Who is this menacing threat visited upon us that has even the established gangs frightened? In a word, Vikings.
Hold on!
This is Bud Moore. He's a Viking.
It relaxes me, Bob. Wreaking havoc in a small village, butchering people, roasting children, beats the hell out of yard work.
Every weekend, Bud Moore becomes Thorbold the Berserker. He's joined by his friends, bricklayer Mike Stensrud and home appliance salesman Lenny Wilson. They don authentic leather jerkins, helms, and skins, and after honing their weapons to a deadly razor's edge, they set out to revive the spirit of their bloody ancestry. What exactly is involved in your raiding?
Well, we like to call it marauding, Bob. You go into a small town, say, Invergrove Heights. You sack it, do a little raping, a little pillaging.
Well, we don't actually rape, per se. But we do pillage.
Oh, criminy, we pillage the bejesus out of these
Pillage them real good.
And what are the police doing to protect us from certain death?
Well, they're really bad news. Kind of a band of marauders striking in the stealth and darkness, coming out of the fog. Just a very dangerous group. Bad news kind of characters, in my judgment.
And the word on the street?
They're bad. I mean, it's getting to a point where I wouldn't even let my children out at night.
I used to think I was bad, but these guys are something else.
The menace is real. Bud agreed to let our team accompany the Vikings on an actual raid.
I understand that this weekend's target is an exclusive jewelry store in downtown Minneapolis.
Jewels!
Vikings love jewels.
Lots of them. Oh, yeah. My wife loves them. They're bright and shiny, too.
As tradition holds, the Vikings always invade by water, using their swift and sturdy longboats.
It was... Bob, can I talk to you for a minute?
Okay.
Bob, we don't exactly have a longboat, per se.
You don't?
Now, Lenny was supposed to build us one this summer, but, the hernia kind of popped open on him again. And,
say no more.
Yeah, well, we're a little sensitive about it. Anyway, Helga here is going to drive us downtown in the old Wagoneer, huh?
Can we go now?
The Vikings depart from their ancestral homelands of Edina. They bring with them scant provisions, knowing that a Wagoneer brimming with spoils of the conquest will return.
Somebody's gonna be eating sword real soon.
Here we go. Here we go, Vikings. Here we go.
Landfall. Our Vikings continue the journey on foot.
I don't know, I think it's a little silly. Grown men carrying on, running around in public dressed like this, scaring people. Of course, it could be a lot worse. They could be Tartars or Bulgars or Franks. God forbid.
Hey, what's this? It's closed.
Closed? Uh-oh.
Hey, Vindar the Boneless, you were supposed to call ahead and check out the hours.
My wife said it.
Your wife said?
My wife said
Your
it.
wife said? Your wife said? What kind of a thing? What kind of a Viking are you?
Bold and ferocious.
A what?
Bold and ferocious.
Louder!
Bold and ferocious.
Oh, bold and ferocious. My foot. Yeah, look at you. You don't even have your jerkin on. Where's your jerkin?
My wife took it to the cleaners.
Your wife took it to the cleaners?
My wife took it to the cleaners.
His wife took it to the cleaners.
It smelled like a dead moose.
It's supposed to smell like a dead moose. Oh, and I bet that's where your Hallberg is, too. Great, because Mr. Jerkin at the cleaners here forget to call ahead. We stand out here all night. No raping, no sacking, no plundering.
Maybe we could still pillage.
Still pillage?
Pillage a 7-Eleven or something.
Oh, bold Viking. Pillage a 7-Eleven, huh? Perhaps we could pillage a Slurpee, I suppose. Maybe pillage a Sunday paper or maybe a microwave burrito while we're at it. Huh? Forget it! I don't even feel like pillaging anymore. I thought I was with bold Vikings. Huh? But you know what I think you are, mister, huh? A Visigoth.
Hey, now, take it easy.
A Visigoth. Or maybe a Lapland or maybe a Saxon.
I don't want a Viking anymore. Now you've done it. Apologize to him.
Yeah, but what kind of a Viking is he?
We can't afford to replace him. Remember how long it took to find a third Viking?
Ah,
right. I'm sorry, Vindar.
I don't want to be Vindar anymore. I want to be the Berserker.
Oh, for cripe's sake. All right, yeah, you can be Tagar the Berserker. All right, let's go pillage.
Take that! You smell like a Saxon pig! Dog!
Hello, is George Wall there? Well, how about Mrs. Wall? Well, are there any walls there? Well, what's holding the house up?
Odin!
Is this it? Is what it? I mean, no sacking, no burning, no severed heads?
Well, it's Sunday. Everything's closed.
Come on, you guys aren't dangerous. You're ridiculous. You couldn't sack a Dairy Queen if your life depended on it.
We're new at this.
No, we're kind of building up to it. Vikings? Ha! You're a bunch of wimps. Come on, Jimmy, let's go. I can get it 9 holes before the sun goes down.
Huh?
Knock it off!
Who is this guy, Bob, anyway? Why does he get to do all the good stories? I'm just sitting here like a
Right,
piece of...
Scott. Skip Ramirez joins us from the Foster Sports Pod. What's coming up in sports, Skip?
Well, Kitty, Scotto, we'll be back later on this evening with an exclusive report on a new concept in law enforcement, which adopts the principles, execution, and finesse of fishermen. I think it will grab you hook, line, and sinker. I'll be back with this and a lot more tired cliches with the next break.
Thanks, Skip. I'm sure everyone will want to stay tuned for that exciting report. Now back to Bob Bagadonis in Studio A.
He gets to do the live show, too?
Attempt to be cool, Scott, huh?
Now, the only news team with 100% real cheese. With Scott Powers, Catherine Ann Clover, Skip Ramirez Jr. on sports, and Larry Lundeen and Cold Front Charlie with the weather. Team 23. It's the best we can do.
Good evening. I'm Catherine Ann Clover.
And I'm Scott Powers, and we're Team 23.
You know, Scott, a wise man once said a society's progress can be judged by the amount of noise it makes. Well, if that's true, then America is still a world leader.
But all this noise can be irritating, even dangerous. And while we can't hope to mute the ruckus of technology, we can make it ring a sweeter tune. And that's the subject of yet another story by Bob Bagadonis.
They are the apex of Western technology. Sleek, powerful, and very fast. The epitome of our development. Jets. But when they fly, they leave more than exhaust in their wake. They leave noise. You ask people here in this South Minneapolis neighborhood about airport noise, they'll tell you about 70 flights a day. About conversations that stop in mid-sentence. They'll tell you about sleepless nights, shaking dishes, migraine headaches. They'll tell you about all this, all right, if they can hear you. Fly me to the moon. But this man may change all that. He is Professor Arthur Namery.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Well, it came one night when I had a really bad cold, and It was just after I'd flung up a load of mucus into the basin, and I found that as I moved my nose about, my sniffling and coughing could be turned into beautiful sounds. It sort of went like this, like...
That's really disgusting, you know.
Well, yes, but it was fruitful and fortuitous, and made me a lot of money.
It is a simple case of applied technology. Namery took his idea and adapted it to one of the noisiest devices on Earth, the modern jetliner.
I love doing that.
We were testing my device on the back of the jet engine. We started to hear the sound of what sounded like God Bless America, with a voice that we could have sworn was Kate Smith.
Jetliners fitted with Namery's device are singing a different tune. Listen. No, that's not the Empire Builder leaving for Seattle on Track 5. It's a Boeing 757 fitted with Namery's device. But flying freight trains aren't the only sound available. And if animal noises aren't your cup of tea, well, a little music, maestro. Namery's device produces a myriad of sounds, including some you may not expect, like fighting neighbors.
The thanks I get for taking care of this dump every day. When have you ever done anything around here?
Who's paying the rent on this dump anyway?
Yeah, well, if I go out and get a job...
Arguing neighbors may not be everyone's idea of a pleasing sound, but it is music to the ears of these South Minneapolis residents.
Oh, it's really changed our lives. Oh, we used to hate those flyovers, but now we really love them.
Wayne and Twyla Griesbach have lived in the final approach of runway 280 for the past 20 years. At that location, jets fly a mere 100 feet above their home.
We really look forward to the flyovers now. They're really fun. My husband's an avid bird watcher, and, well, he loves the sound of those midway commuters.
They play bird song.
Oh, nothing but, Bob.
Every day at 7:35 a.m. and 4:10 p.m., Wayne and Twyla are at their picture window, waiting for the sound of...
There it is. Hear it?
Yeah.
It's a 727 stretch. A yellow-rumped warbler. It's wonderful, isn't it?
But my favorite is the humpback whale.
Mrs. Griesbach is referring to the twice-daily Northwest 727 flights from Seattle. What was once the angry growl of jet engines has been replaced with the comforting sound of the friendly humpback whale. Environmentalists like Green Whale Peace's Dawn Oken couldn't be happier.
It's humbling. It really is. I mean, we spent years protesting this kind of noise pollution, and for the industrial complex to have arrived at this solution, well, no, it's humbling.
Of course, it's tough to please a 25-year veteran of the protest circuits.
That jet produces the sound of a baleen whale, hardly indigenous to the Minneapolis area. We have clear evidence that Northwood's wolverines are mistaking the sound of those jets for Canadian brown moose in rut. Now, I've personally witnessed these wolverines hurling themselves into Lake Superior a good 2 weeks before their normal ritualistic dousing.
You expect me to believe this load of crap?
Whether you believe me or not, that doesn't change the fact that these fallacious whale cries are upsetting our entire ecosystem.
Yeah, I suppose next you're going to tell me that whales are going to start migrating up the Mississippi and start spawning in Lake Itasca.
They might. They just might.
Despite the whining of a few disgruntled environmental extremists, the airplane muffling device is clearly a hit. Our skies are now filled with a veritable kaleidoscope of sounds. From birds to buffalo, with fighting neighbors and friendly whales in between, it's all part of the people and technology that are changing our lives here in these high-tech times.
It's a real pleasure to sit on the porch on a sunny afternoon and listen to the cows fly by.
Sure looked like a nice day when they shot that story. You don't think that was sitting on the shelf for about 3 months, do you?
Well, speaking of nice days, let's go to the weather. Larry Lundeen is out back at the weather dock.
Thanks, Scott and Catherine. It's decidedly colder out here at the old weather dock. A heavy frost has dropped over the whole area. You dog owners out there might want to think about bringing your pets in. Then again, you might want to leave them out, especially if they are annoying, noisy puppet dogs. Oh, what's the matter, Charlie? Cat got your tongue?
Hey, come on, guys. What's happening to our team spirit? It's gut check time, huh? Teams have to stick together, isn't that right, Skipper?
Animals. I've worked with them all my life. They'll go south on you any day. And while we're on the subject of animals, something different from the Foster Sports Pod. Every year, over 70 million anglers set out for a lake in the woods to lure that perfect perch, that wily walleye. But in the Twin Cities, fishing has taken on an urban dimension.
Oh, pike? Oh, it's a bass. Stripping me out a little bit. There he's coming out of those bulrush patches.
Oh, boy. Oh, shoot.
It's called catch and release. The lunkers are reeled into the boats, weighed, photographed, and instead of ending up on a stringer, the fish are released back into the lake for someone else to catch.
Oh, you got some healthy bass here.
A simple idea, this catch and release, and now this revolutionary program has swum out of the lakes and into the asphalt oceans. When Minneapolis police officer Ron Linke goes trolling for criminals, he knows that justice will be swift.
Freeze! Drop it, mister! It ain't worth it!
Linke is one of the first officers in the nation to take part in the new catch and release concept of law enforcement.
Don't you ever do that again! Now get out of here.
Under this new program, the criminal is apprehended and instead of being hauled downtown for booking, he is simply released.
Audacity. I can't believe the audacity of it.
It's strange. I mean, it's really different. I mean, sometimes you'd spend months tracking down a hardened criminal and then just let him go. Yeah, I'd say it's different.
Minneapolis Police Chief Tony Boza came up with the idea after a successful fishing trip one week last summer.
Keeps us practiced. You refine your skills, casting and fishing and netting and whatever it is that fishermen do, and then release them. I think it's a very sportsmanlike thing to do, and I think pretty soon we may think about perhaps even expanding it to citizens and give some kind of criminal fishing licenses out. I would really urge it upon you. I think that you'd make a very good catcher.
Me?
Yes,
no,
yeah.
I'm a journalist. I'm a simple journalist. I'm not a law enforcement man.
Well, I think a simple journalist is an oxymoron to begin with, but...
You want me to go out and try it?
Yes, please do.
Officer Linke was kind enough to take us to one of his favorite fishing holes in northeast Minneapolis, where cat burglars run deep and fast.
There he is, Bob. I think that's him. That's him? I think that's him. Here he is. What do we do? Hook him. Hook him. Okay. Go ahead. Freeze! Hook him. Hook him. Hey, buddy! Go for him. Go for him. Wait a second, buddy. Come here.
Get a boy, Bob. You got him. Oh, you got him. He's a beauty, Bob. Look at that. He's a real fighter. Oh, fantastic. All right. Get him by the scuff of the neck, Bob. Bring him right over. Oh, Bob, give him a little line now. Give him a little line. Play him out. That's right. That's right. Oh, Bob, don't let him get under the car. Hook him up. He's a sow.
You got him. Come on, bring him back here. What do I do? Okay. Okay, now what? Oh, Bob, put him up. Put him up. That's right. Okay. Oh, look at that, Bob. Beauty. Think he's ready to spawn? This kind always is, Bob. Let's measure, Bob. Okay, let's measure. No, from the tip of his nose, to the crotch, right? That's right. How much do we got? 36 inches. All right. I think he's a keeper. Let's get him up. Let's get him up. Now we gotta take him. Weigh him. Weigh him. Hook him back there. What have we got there?
175 pounds.
Oh, is he a keeper? He's a keeper.
Oh, a picture. Okay.
Oh, yes.
My first catch.
Important thing, Bob.
Come here.
Are you ready? Smile now. Smile it. Oh, it's a beauty. It's a beauty. Look at this. Look at this. Isn't this great?
Boy. Wait until Betty sees this.
I know it. Okay, Bob. Here we go. Let's get him on. There he is. There he's loose. He's loose.
Okay. Let me get him going here.
They get a little. Yeah.
Let him go.
Stale.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go on. Beat it.
Go. Oh. Isn't that great?
Oh, that was wonderful.
Isn't it?
Well, that was great.
You want to do it again?
I heard they're biting down on Hennepin Avenue.
Come on, let's go.
Scott, Catherine, Chief Bolza tells me that the big opener will be sometime in May, and that there won't be any limit on the number of crooks each citizen can bag.
Good job, Skip. Thanks. Well, let's see if our team reporters have caught any action out in the Twin Cities. Veronica, how are things hanging down there at the Loon?
Fred and Ginger, I'm here at the Loon Cafe, and this place is just crawling with celebrities. I saw a couple of twins earlier, and I just know there are some Vikings lurking somewhere. We'll get to them in a minute. But first, I want to continue this charming interview with Eddie Phillips, who tells me that he drives a Jaguar.
XKE, it really handles those curves. How would you like a ride? In fact, how would you like to drive it?
Oh, who's the reporter here? So, how long did you say that your roommate was going to be out of town?
Ronnie,
yes, Scott?
would you mind moving on there to one of those celebrities you mentioned you might find?
Oh, sure, Scott. Next break. We go now to Team 23's twins, Candy Kane. Candy?
I'm down here at Seven Corners, and as you can see, it's really rocking. I'm here right now with John Smith and Cindy Beaton. Tell me, you guys, do you have any New Year's resolutions?
Well, sure. I'm hoping to get a job.
Job? Good. That's always a good one. And Cindy?
I don't think I'm going to try anything new.
Okay, as you can tell, it's a real wild time right now, and I'm about to party hard myself. We're going to go back right now to my twin sister, Cindy, who's down rocking at the Metrodome. Cindy? Yeah, well, I'd like to report that things are rocking out here at the Dome, but as you can see, the only game that's being played here is solitaire, and I'm losing. I made a list of the things that could have been going on in the Dome tonight. Is there a Vikings game? No. Are the Twins winning another World Series? Is there a welcome home celebration? Is Prince, rocking out with Bob Dylan, someone like that? No. There's not even a convention or one of those tractor pull things. I can't help but think that Candy has something to do with my pulling this exciting assignment. Well, we're back to Bart Roberts. Bart, I hope you're having more fun than I am.
Thanks, Cindy. I sure am. Bart Roberts here at Nord Motors in Anoka, where we are anxiously awaiting the arrival of the Melon Runner, who I am told is just moments away. And here he is. Hey, congratulations. What's your name?
Steve Niebert. I'd really like to stay, but I got to get going.
Hey, wait a minute. We've got Terry Nord here, owner of Nord Motors, and he'd like to say a few words.
I got to get to the melon drop. I really got...
On behalf of the Nord management and staff, we'd like to offer our very special congratulations to you on this very special run.
Thanks a million, Terry, but I got to get going.
And Nord would like to make his own very special presentation to you.
I'd like to present this signed autographed picture. Hey, I know you. He didn't make his payment.
Well, this is guaranteed to be the fastest leg in this race. Now we're going to turn to Craig Coolander, high atop the IDS. Craig?
Thanks, Bart. Craig Coolander here, high atop the city in the IDS building at Cleo's nightclub. It's New Year's Eve, and it appears that my remote crew has been hitting the sauce a little early tonight. We had some technical difficulties, but everything's settled. We're all together now, and I just wanted to show you the spectacular view of the Twin Cities celebrating the New Year's. Folks, I've got to tell you, I haven't seen something this exciting since the Twins pocketed the World Series. I mean, just look at those people dancing in Nicollet Mall. It's unbelievable. Oh, Lord, look at those fireworks. Oh, my. Folks, I can't add anything to what you're seeing right now. Let's just sit back and enjoy this display. Probably the best firework this country has ever seen. Oh, my God. Look at that green one.
Wow, that reminds me of those Edward R. Murrow broadcasts from the rooftop of London during the war.
Murrow. Oh, no, you mean Don Murrow. Did PM Magazine in Sacramento for a while, right? You know, I didn't know they were doing PM in London.
Now, the Twin Cities news team that would never dance naked in public. With Scott Powers, Catherine Ann Clover, Skip Ramirez Jr. on sports, and Larry Lundeen and Cold Front Charlie with the weather. Team 23. It's the best we can do.
Good evening. I'm Scott Powers, and it's getting late here at Team 23.
And I'm Catherine Ann Clover. It's a piece of the American dream, a home on a lake, a shiny brass ring on life's merry-go-round.
Most of us will never get to be able to grab for that ring without falling off the horse seat. But in a posh Minneapolis neighborhood, that's about to change. Here's Bob, big surprise bag of donuts, with another report.
Lake of the Isles, Kenwood, spawning ground for the blue bloods of Minneapolis, where fine champagne flows like tap water and people wash their Pomeranians with Perrier. And most noticeably, a place filled with fabulous homes, mini palaces to their prestige and upper-class heritage. A veritable smorgasbord of architectural wonders. Until now.
Oh, it's a beautiful neighborhood. Could you imagine, a lakefront home in a beautiful neighborhood like this? It's everything that anyone could ever want.
Garth and Verna Wetpin are the proud owners of this new trailer home. It is, in fact, an American dream come true.
It really is a wonderful neighborhood.
Oh, yeah.
We just let the dogs run free. There's so much room. I'm going to plant a big truck patch out back and can onions for all the new neighbors.
Oh, yeah. The Wetpins' new home is the first unit of Root Haven, a colossal trailer court to be developed here on Lake of the Isles. The scale of the project staggers the imagination. A bold facelift of an established upper-class neighborhood. 900 mobile homes, complete with utilities, transportation, recreation, and shopping. And there's more. Root Haven boasts 2 marinas, a nuclear power plant, and an amusement park, complete with an elevated space tram.
I thought he said the engineer had said it was a 12-inch main.
No, I think it's a 12-foot main.
Overseeing the design of this historic project is the architectural firm of Dual. Chief designer, Bert Schroeder.
No, we call them dynamic land habitats.
Dynamic land habitats.
Right. This is a term coined by the developer himself. We've also oriented the units perpendicular to the lakeshore, and we've staggered them in the double-loaded configurations to preserve the sight lines from the existing more established residential neighbors.
So the people who are already established in the neighborhood really have nothing to worry about from this. As a matter of fact, they should be pleased that this is coming in here, shouldn't they?
That's right. We believe that this brings an activity and a vitality level here which is lacking today. There is a new freeway, Interstate 594RH, the expressway which we see here at the south of the site.
That's the Root Haven Expressway.
That's right. There is planned a new interchange just south of the lake here, which will accommodate approximately 50,000 vehicles per day.
The developer of this project? Minneapolis attorney Lyle Rude.
I'm giving Minnesotans what they want, a home on the lake, and that's all.
But you don't own the land.
Just because somebody's grandfather built a shack here once doesn't mean they can hog the land forever. Hell, they're not even using the shoreline. That's the best part of the lake.
Root Haven is a complete sham. It will never get off of the ground. It's the ludicrous raving of a demented maniac.
April March is the senior administrator for the Minneapolis zoning office. We showed her Lyle Rude's plans for Kenwood.
This plan is a joke. We will never allow it.
Why not?
Why not? I'll tell you why not. Lake of the Isles is a city park. The key words being city and park. Secondly, his designs will never, in a million years, pass our very strict zoning.
Zoning schmoning. I know the law and it's on my side. Those zoning morons are just jealous because I didn't think of it first.
This is in the absolutely the worst possible taste. Imagine putting shacks up along this beautiful lake. Well, it's absolutely abominable. Puts me off my food.
Mrs. Etta Palfrey St. James, president of the Kenwood Neighborhood Association, is upset. She won't take this situation sitting down.
We have already hired a battalion of lawyers, and as a show of our solidarity, we have voted to picket.
You mean Kenwood residents will be down here picketing?
Oh, no. We've gone for outside help.
Outside?
Well, yes, we've hired a temporary agency.
4 days from now, 200 Kelly girls will descend upon the Wetpins' new home. They vow to stay until police come and drag them away. Or until 5 o'clock. That is, of course, unless they're paid overtime. And what of Garth and Verna Wetpin? Well, they won't be driven off easily. They've staked their claim, and they're putting all their money, figuratively and literally, with Mr. Lyle Rood.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we trust Mr. Rood. We really do.
Yeah, well, he's an attorney, you know.
Yeah.
Minutes are ticking away towards New Year, and our Team 23 reporters have been covering this story with a team report update. Let's go now to Candy Kane, somewhere in the Twin Cities. Candy?
This is Candy Kane here at Seven Corners. Now, Craig Kuhlander.
This is Veronica Bortz live at the Loon Cafe in downtown Minneapolis. And now off to Bart Roberts at Nord Motors.
This is Bart Roberts, and now to Cindy Kane.
This is Cindy Kane at the Metrodome. Now over to Veronica Bortz. Bart?
Candy?
Craig?
Cindy?
Veronica? June? Ward?
Boxcars! All right. What the hell kind of report was that? Hey, come on, let's get it together, team. Huh? This isn't brain surgery. There's no room for error here.
Well, we're going to take a time out and try to get this fixed. We'll go now to Bob Bag of Donuts while we huddle up with our team.